Victor Newman and Jack Abbott being pushed into an alliance marks a turning point that has been decades in the making, because these two men don't just dislike each other, they are defined by their rivalry. Every betrayal, takeover attempt, and personal attack between them has built an unshakable belief that the other cannot be trusted. That's why Kane Ashby's rise is so dangerous. Kane isn't fighting Victor and Jack on familiar territory like hostile takeovers or boardroom maneuvering. He's operating in a new space, using technology as a weapon, and that forces Victor and Jack to confront a threat neither of them can handle alone. Kane's confession about his AI program reveals just how far ahead of them he really is. By designing software with a built-in trigger that allows it to turn on its host company, Kane ensures that control is always an illusion. Victor thought possession of the program meant power, but Kane made sure the real authority remained in his hands. When Kane activates the destructive function, it's more than an attack on Newman Enterprises. It's a public declaration that Victor Newman, the man who prides himself on absolute control, has finally been outplayed. That humiliation cuts deeper than the financial damage, especially when Kane and Phyllis openly taunt Victor instead of hiding behind secrecy. Phyllis's role in this escalation is crucial because she isn't just backing Kane, she's validating him. Phyllis thrives when she feels underestimated and overlooked, and aligning with Kane gives her the intoxicating sense that she's finally on the winning side of history. Together, they don't just want to damage Newman Enterprises, they want to dismantle Victor's legacy and claim it as their own. Their talk of a Newman takeover isn't fantasy. It's the logical next step in a plan that has already crossed the point of no return. What they fail to grasp is that by attacking this boldly, they've awakened the most dangerous version of Victor Newman. Victor does not process betrayal quietly. Once the initial shock wears off, his rage hardens into something colder and far more strategic. He knows Kane cannot be confronted head-on using traditional methods because Kane has already proven he can strike remotely and invisibly. That's why Victor does something almost unthinkable. He turns to Jack Abbott. This decision isn't born out of forgiveness or trust, it's born out of necessity. Victor understands that Jack is the only person who knows his playbook as well as he does, and that same familiarity makes Jack uniquely equipped to help dismantle Kane's operation. Jack's agreement to work with Victor is just as loaded. Jack has long believed Victor's obsessions eventually poison everything around him, and this situation feels like proof. However, Jack also recognizes that Kane and Phyllis are playing a reckless game that threatens the entire corporate ecosystem of Genoa City. If Kane can weaponize AI against Newman Enterprises, then Jabot is just as vulnerable. Jack's lingering fears aren't hypothetical, they're rooted in survival. Aligning with Victor is a bitter pill, but letting Kane continue unchecked would be worse. Their previous attempts at alliance failed because neither man was truly invested. Those partnerships were performative, designed to manipulate others or buy time. This time the danger is real, immediate and personal. Kane's power trip forces Victor and Jack to move past ego and into action. As Josh Griffith points out, they're being pushed to work together for the greater good, even if it feels like torture. Every conversation between them will be laced with suspicion, every decision a potential power struggle, but they both know that success depends on restraint and cooperation. What makes this alliance especially volatile is that Victor and Jack bring opposite strengths to the table. Victor is ruthless and relentless, willing to destroy lives if it means winning. Jack is more measured, preferring long games and moral justifications. Together they could become an unstoppable force, or implode from internal conflict. Kane may believe he's orchestrating their downfall, but he's actually created the one scenario where Victor and Jack's combined knowledge becomes a weapon far more dangerous than any AI program. As for Phyllis, her future is the most unpredictable. She's hitched herself to Kane's momentum, convinced she's finally found a path to lasting power. But Phyllis has survived Genoa City for decades by sensing when alliances turn toxic. If she realizes Victor and Jack are truly united, she may scramble to rewrite her own ending either by betraying Kane or positioning herself as an indispensable asset to whoever emerges victorious. Whether she sinks with Kane or slips away depends on how quickly she recognizes the shift. In the end, this isn't just a battle over companies or technology, it's a war over legacy. Kane wants to prove he's no longer expendable. Phyllis wants validation and dominance. Victor wants control restored. Jack wants stability protected. By forcing enemies into alliance, Kane has ignited a chain reaction that will reshape power in Genoa City. The question isn't whether chaos is coming, it's who will still be standing when the dust finally settles.